Right, okay. On the bench today we have ZX Spectrum Plus. Picked this up from auction a while ago. I did a quick test in it. It powered up, got the cursor on the screen. Was actually kind of disappointed. I was hoping there'd be something immediately wrong with it from a content point of view. Seemed to be working, so I set it aside, but I did get it out last week there and hooked it all up, and the keyboard's not working, so there was actually something wrong with it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this out the box. It's actually in really nice overall condition. The box is in good condition. Poly's in good condition. I'm upside down. The only thing is the usual polystyrene reacting with the cable there. All wires are there, power supply's there. I've got the power supply test already. And a little warranty card. So there could be other things wrong with this machine that I will run through diagnostics and such. But the first thing would be getting the keyboard up and running. So I think the first thing we'll do, let's zoom in a little bit. We'll get this thing opened up and we'll check the membrane. That's the likely cause of a problem. So I have ordered one, which is here. I won't show the other side because that's my address on there. Right, let's get this thing open. Let's squeeze it out. Let's unplug this old membrane. I'm not going to be able to see from the camera angle. I can't open it any further. Okay, that's that out. Okay. Everything certainly looks fine inside. It's perished a little foam bit on there, and this one. But other than that, it actually looks very clean. Very little dust in there, which is good. A little bit down in this corner. Right, well, let's focus for now on the membrane. I'll try and zoom down as far as I can without losing focus. Not sure if that's a little mark on the side there, but it doesn't seem to go onto the track there. Ah, here we go. That's just separated for there. The tracks do look a little iffy underneath there though. It's not all tarnished. Thinking though that probably will be where it's crimped under here. It's likely to have failed. So let's pop these off. Oh, I think we found the problem. That is completely separated there. Two bits. This one on the other hand is actually okay across there, it's not cracked at all. Not that I can see. Right, so that confirms the membrane is knackered. So let's zoom back out and let's get it out of there. Right, so there's this one that's the problem. As you can see, that's completely torn off there. New one. Carefully open this up. Certainly well packaged. So watch not turn this over. Had to cover up the seller's return door number and postcode. Okay, that's that. That looks good. So the next thing is we'll get this installed and then we can do some more testing on the machine with a working keyboard, hopefully. Right, I just realised that if I piece it back together and put a screw in, I'm not going to be able to test it using my little composite cable here, because this definitely doesn't take RF. Right, let's power this up. Right, tilt that a bit so I can see it. Screen's not great at an angle for me. Right, hopefully you can still see it, and I can see it sitting here. Right, let's see what happens with the keys. Yep, all seems to be fine. Okay, that's perfect. So I think the next thing then is we'll just get the composite mod done, and I'll recap it, and that should be that. Running sweet. We can give it a little test. We can load some software in using my Arduino, just to give it more of a full test. We'll run the full diagnostics as well. Yeah, so let's get started on getting the composite mod done. and the recapping. Right, to take the board out, there's only 2 screws, one in each corner there, and the board will just lift out. You'll also have to pop out the little reset switch, and that's basically that. And I'm just going to give this a little brush. A little bit of dust in a couple of the corners, but that's basically it. So that's that side. Right. I'm going to remove this heatsink just to get it out of the way. Just a little nut on the back there, the washer. Tweezers. Oh, up you come. There we go. Slide that out. Right. Technically wasn't completely in the way, but just a bit easier. Removed. Now I have kit here for both the composite mod and the recapping, and that was from Petroleum. That's who I normally use for this sort of stuff. You see that? Always very reliable and good quality. Would definitely recommend them. Right, so we'll start by getting these removed. So I'm going to heat up my desolder station, and we'll get these old caps removed. Right, that's set up to temperature. I'm going to apply a little bit of extra solder. I'm just going to show one on camera, and I'll just whisk through the rest off camera. Start with this one here. So add a little bit of solder. You have to try and bend this leg up a little bit if I can. Off the board slightly. Should do it. Solder off. It should now just pop off. That's that. The holes are nice and clean. So this one is a 22, 16 volts. I think all the 22s that come in the kit are 50 volts, so they're well overrated, which is perfectly fine. Now, just make sure this goes in the right way. So this is a negative lead here, that's a positive at this end. So, and roughly it's the right width. Pop it in. That's so nice. axis. So there we go, that's first one done. And we can read what it is. So right, this one, yep, you can read that on the side. Right, so there's all what there's another lot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 to get done. So I'm going to crack on with that now, and I'll be back once it's finished. Right, okay, that's all new. The new capacitors in. All went nice and straightforward. There wasn't any problems desoldering old ones. So right, that's that done. So next I'm going to do the composite mod. So what I'll do is I'll zoom in here so you can see what's going on. So it's really straightforward. So first things first, just pop this can off. Should come off easy enough. There we go. Now first thing I want to do is have a resistor connected to the back there. We're just going to snip that, move it out the way. There we go. And I'm going to desolder. You have that's your composite coming through the board, going into the modulator, and this is your 5-volt line. So basically, so that this is easy enough to reverse, we're just going to desolder these from the board rather than cutting them off. Let's hook them over there out the way. Same with this one. Okay, just hook it up nice and neat. And what we're going to do with this, we need the negative side of this capacitor, which is here. Now this is going to go through a little hole here, and we're going to be connecting that to the centre pin here. So try remove some of this solder. A little bit of wick. Trying to do this so you can see it. Should be fine. I use my tweezers. Okay, that's going through that hole fine. We'll sort that in a second. So we need we need the positive leg here to go through and connect where the composite video goes in. I should be able to just heat that and just push it through, hopefully. Make sure I'm in shot. That's that through. quite neat. Just make sure this is nice and solid. And cut off the excess. That's that pin on. That's going to sit neat like that. I'm just going to get the tweezers, fold this back around there. Oh, didn't see that there. My apologies. Basically the lead there, the positive lead, sorry, the negative lead for the capacitor that I fed through there. I'm just folding it back round and solder it in place. I can just get the excess out and snip it off. So that's basically that done. Just a case of popping this lid back on, and obviously if you want to reverse it, easy enough. You would just take the resistor, the one that was desoldered from here. So you'd remove the capacitor, take this wire back into the hole there for the composite, and your power back into there, your 5 volts, and resolder that onto there, and that would be it, fully reversed. You'd never even know it had been done. So I'll get this can back on, lid back on it. That's it. So this back out. Right, what I'll do now is I'm going to put everything back together, get the keyboard on, and I'm going to run the diagnostics on the board, just to make sure everything is as it should be. So let me just put this all back together and come back and we'll get that done. Right, that's this all pieced back together. So everything's plugged in, diagnostics plugged in, so let's power this on. Okay, 48K, so press 1. Right, so all that passed fine. So let's pull that down, change the test. Right, okay, test the keyboard, so that's something that we changed. Right, that's all the keys that I can actually test using this. So let's press the symbol and break. Right, what else can we test? To border test. seems fine. Cap shift and brake. There we go. 4 is colour test. It's fine. 5 flash test. Okay, happy with that. 6 for run test. Okay, I think that's that's pretty much fine for the testing. I'm very happy with that. So we'll switch this off. Right, so it's testing fine. There was a few other tests that I could have done. So now that that's out the way, the next thing, and this will be in part 2 of the video, I'll be testing loading the game, make sure that's running fine, but I'll also be building a Kempston Joystick Interface, because that's something I don't have, and I'd rather try playing a game with a joystick rather than the keyboard. Right, I'll also be doing a giveaway for one of the Kempston joystick interfaces in part 2 of this series of videos. But details of that will be in part 2. Right, as far as this machine goes, the membrane was definitely done. It was literally torn clean off. Well, it was hanging by a thread, let's just say that. So yeah, that was replaced. Obviously I've done the diagnostics, I've tested the keyboard, all seems fine. Fully recapped the board and done the composite mod. So all went well. So like I say, next up is the joystick interface in part 2. Right, but if you like this one, then please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more like it, then please subscribe to the channel, it's always appreciated, and if you click the bell notification icon, you'll be notified anytime that I'll upload new content. Thanks for watching. Cheers.